CyberKill by Dekarro. Chapter 1. A barren, dingy basement room is pictured with a low-hanging ceiling and a dirt floor. There is a small light fixture on the ceiling that slowly blinks on and off. The walls are bare with slight cracking down the middle. There is a boarded-up window along one of the walls. There is a small tool shelf along the right wall stacked with small pieces of equipment and contractor's tools. In the middle of the room, there is a large wooden coffin with the top shut. The surface of the coffin displays nails every 6 inches along the perimeter. There are slight splinters from the wood where the nails were slammed into the coffin. The unit is roughly 84 by 28 by 23 inches in size and was made out of fresh wood. There is a girl inside, about 5'6", blonde hair, and is wearing a tank top and a pair of jeans. Her eyes are shut and breathing rather heavily. She begins to come to and starts to move around inside the coffin. She shifts to her right side and slams against the wooden side of the coffin. As she regains her composure, she realizes that she is trapped and becomes quite claustrophobic. "Where the hell am I?" asks Carrie. She attempts to move her body with some trouble. She gently lifts her right knee, which is stopped by the top of the box. She retracts with a slight groan. "What the fuck is this?" says Carrie. There's a small hole at the end, which shows some aspect of light. Carrie locates the hole near her feet, but cannot reposition her body to get closer to it. Suddenly, several live scorpions enter the box and begin crawling over Carrie's feet and legs. She begins shrugging them off, but their advances continue. She lets out a large shriek that radiates throughout the box. "Help!" Carrie cried. One of the scorpions crawls on her left leg and is able to sting her, injecting a small amount of venom into her. She shrieks again and is able to crush it with the weight of her leg. She yells out again, "Is anyone there? Please help me," asks Carrie. There continues to be silence and no answer. She continues to battle anything that comes in through the hole and is trying to figure a way out. She starts to feel slightly weakened from the prior sting bite. She begins to slide down toward the end of the box where her feet are. Carrie begins to use her lower body strength to kick at the side of the coffin. Each kick shows the rattling of the boards and displays the light from the basement room. One of the kicks is strong enough to shatter one of the boards. She continues to strike the boards until there is a clear opening to escape from. Carrie emerges from the bottom of the box and regains her balance when standing up. She surveys the room and begins to limp away from the coffin. Carrie walks around the room and sees the rough outline of a door along the rear of the room next to some shelving with tools on them. She briefly assesses herself and realizes that she has bruises along her arms and legs. There are small cuts along her face and down one of her arms. Small drips of blood begin to fall onto the dirt ground as she moves across the room. She gets her hands and runs them along the far wall and finds a doorknob that blends in with the wall. The doorknob is painted black to match the wall. Carrie's hand is juggling it, but it does not open. "Fuck," said Carrie. Wood shelving can be seen next to the concealed door. Carrie walks over to it and begins rummaging through its contents. She locates a long cast iron pipe on one of the lower shelves. She uses the pipe to smash the doorknob. After 5 or 6 hits, she is able to knock it down. She uses all her force to kick in the door. She slowly begins to emerge through the door. A long, dingy hallway corridor awaits her, with several side offsets throughout. Carrie begins to walk slowly as she continues to hear loud bangs overhead. There is a crackling of rocks and debris as she takes each step forward. At the end of the corridor, there are several doors, one on each side of the 3 walls. Carrie continues toward the main door in the middle. She runs her fingers along the wall and attempts to open it without success. "What the hell is this place?" asks Carrie. She looks toward the door on the left with interest, but is slowly distracted by a sound coming towards her right. She moves toward the right door. There is a soft ticking sound that is getting louder and louder. Carrie's hand comes into contact with the handle. She begins turning the knob to the right. She has trouble with opening it and begins to tug harder. She let out a grunt each time she tries. The sound is almost deafening now. Finally, she tugs as hard as she can, and the door swings open. There is a loud explosion from inside the door. Her face is impaled with pieces of nails, glass, aluminum, and other debris. One of the pieces of nail punctures her left eye. Some of the glass has entered her cheeks and neck. The force is enough to push back into concrete wall, her back slamming against it. Blood is running down around the pieces of shrapnel. Her now limp body begins to slide down the wall into the sitting position. The inside section of the closet can now be seen more clearly. There are 2 separate shrapnel bombs perfectly placed along the wall. They are both linked to a trigger that is mounted to the door with a cable detonating upon opening. There are many small pieces of debris along the closet floor after the bombs went off. Carrie is slumped against the back wall. She is sitting down and trying desperately to breathe. She continues to bleed out from her wounds. The blood spills out and runs along the basement floor. She makes one last move to straighten herself. Her head slumps to the right as she takes her last breath. Her body is now completely lifeless. There is another hidden passage behind the hallway where Carrie had just died. A large operations room that looks to be recently visited. There are supplies on one of the back tables. There is a wooden office desk that extends to the left and right. There are 4 large monitors that are active with information. There are several electronic devices in the room as well as a keyboard. A melodic sound of typing on the keyboard can be heard as the front side of the room is shown. There is someone sitting in front of one of the monitor's walls now typing rather quickly on the main keyboard. On the main screen of the computer, there are several chat rooms open with the figure engaging in each of them simultaneously. There are screen names on the right and a chat bar at the bottom, which is being continuously filled and then disappearing. A majority of the screen names on the page appear to be women. The replies from the figure appear to be both inquisitive yet also flirtatious. Some of the replies insinuate that these women are interested in what the figure has to say and to possibly meet up at some point. The figure lets out a low chuckle as they begin to track the IP addresses of some of these active screen names.